What is up, everybody? To Outrage here today, and we have to talk about this journalist right here, this gaming media journalist, our source of unbiased news. Well, this guy is definitely putting a twist to that because apparently, when you look at your gaming news, it might come from a fanboy perspective, which is interesting because this guy's an official journalist. He has the check mark and everything. He's verified. He's been at these big outlets, but this guy's a huge Sony fanboy. It's like, wow. Imagine looking at your local newspaper, your local web article from one of these journalists, and you seeing pretty much that Xbox sucks, PlayStation is amazing. Pretty much what he's saying from this quote from his tweet right here, because he was definitely damage controlling that bad news that Sony had yesterday about them raising their price worldwide for the PS5 systems. But this is what this guy said, which is like, really, really, dude. It's like it's okay if an average Joe Smo is a fanboy, like a person does a YouTube video or a TikTok video or a Twitter post. It's okay if they are a fanboy, but this guy is supposed to be a credited journalist, and he's a big Sony fanboy right here. But this is what this guy said. Imagine if gamers expressed a similar level of outrage for not having any AAA console exclusives to play in 2022 versus a minor price hike due to materials inflation. Yeah, don't agree there. It's like, sure, you can say Microsoft's first party output, AAA output has been amazing, but they do have Game Pass this entire year, which has been supplemented this dry year for exclusives. Like, I was just playing As Dust Falls. That game was fantastic. It's not AAA, but that game is really fun. Had a blast with that. And they have what is that one game that the game I was just looking at? I'm drawing a blank. Atomic Falls, Atomic Heart, Atomic Souls, something like that. That game looks amazing. That's a big action-packed game, which I don't know if that's a AAA game, but that game looks amazing. It's going to Game Pass day one. High on Life is not a AAA game. That game looks amazing. It's going to Game Pass day one. And I'm probably missing a lot of others, but there's a lot of games going to Game Pass day one this year, which is worth checking out. So, like I said, they might not be hitting a home run with the first party exclusive content this year, but they are definitely putting some amazing efforts in Game Pass this year. So Microsoft has that going for us. So, but just to try to distract from Sony raising the prices of the PS5 after 2 years after the console has been out, and want to say inflation. Then the last time they talked about the PS5, when Sony officials talked about it, they said they were making money. Now I guess they're losing money because of the inflation. But why can't they just take the hit like they did before in the past? Other companies have done it before in the past. So I don't know what makes this so different, but they decided to put that cost on their fan base, which is like, it's just wild. Like, that's just a weird strategy right there, and people defend this nonsense. Like, that's a weird strategy for Sony to raise their price of their consoles, and everybody's supposed to be A-okay because it's an inflation, right? Like, that's just dumb. But this journalist is defending this nonsense, saying you should worry more about Xbox than PlayStation. Nah, I don't think so. Minor price hike. It is now $750 for a PS5 in Canada. How do people like you get a blue check mark? You're more out of touch than Sony. Fanboy takes are to be expected, but you have an actual job in the industry. That's the scary thing about this dude. This dude actually has a job in the game industry. He's a huge fanboy. As a journalist, you're supposed to leave the fanboy stuff out of your work. That people even have to tell you this. Yeah, it's just wow. The people even got to say this to begin with. One affects your finances positively, the other affects your finances negatively. Unfortunately, the release of AAA games on PS5 has not given Sony enough revenue to keep from raising prices on games and hardware. I've been very upset about the lack of games this year. Okay. Now imagine if the outraged people were even on those affected territories that didn't have a PS5 already. You know, some of these Sony guys are weird because a lot of these guys, this is legit affecting these people because a lot of these guys are not even in America who are big Sony fanboy trolls. They're not even in America, so it's legit affecting these guys. And they most likely don't got a PS5 anyway, like we found out about the other guy. I don't know if this is the same person, but I remember there was that one fanboy who was praising the PS5 for 2 years, and he just now is finally getting one. So this type of news, Sony was affecting the prices. That's affecting those guys right there who want to constantly shield for Sony. And you probably don't even got a PS5 to begin with. So this news is definitely affecting you out of everybody, but they still shield for the company, which is just pathetic. You are proudly Jason Schreier 2.0, blocking everyone who disagrees with your agenda. Yeah, I definitely saw this guy was going on a blogging spree against anybody who disagreed with those guys, so that's interesting. I mean, November is stacked from Sony and Xbox. You know, a lot of people are clowning on this Pentiment game, but I'm pretty sure this is going to have a core audience to it. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a beloved game, so. But they just complain like, hey, the graphics aren't as great, so the game sucks, is what people are trying to say. But this game might be good. Who knows? I will laugh that Pentiment scores better than God of Ragnarok. Yeah, like I say, these type of games have an audience to it, so it's kind of like. It's kind of like the people who make fun of Animal Crossing because that game has terrible visuals. The visuals aren't up to par like a AAA Sony game, but that game does extremely well. So it's like not every game has to be just a visual masterpiece, to be honest, to appeal to its core audience. 20% in Japan is not minor. Yeah, I was reading an article on Push Square where the Japanese people were pissed off. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. They were pissed off about this price increase. Let me get to it. Yeah, here's the article. Japanese gamers aren't impressed with PS5 price hikes. Many are saying they're simply giving up on the system. So the Japanese audience in particular, that's because Sony is a Japanese company, they were pissed off about this news more than everybody else because they're affected by this price hike as well. So a lot of people are not happy about this. I know a lot of people like the damage control for this, but this a lot of people are pissed off about this because it's affecting them. So the fanboy strikes again. Of course, you're going to defend this. Check mark. After all, why not? Why shouldn't I post a bunch of dumb s? Yeah. My man Kim is out here catching strays for a company that doesn't even know he exists. Yeah. Bro might actually be the worst person to report on this industry currently working. I seriously just don't understand how this dude is a journalist. Maybe he works for Sony and the Secret Console or Defense Force. Yeah. If Sony needs a Defense Force League, this guy is probably already on the payroll at that point. Because all he does is defend Sony no matter what they do. Like, it's just sad at this point. Imagine people thinking about the only way you can only play video games is on one console. Imagine thinking casuals care about exclusives. That is the truth in so many ways. The casual audience doesn't care about exclusives like that. It's like the hardcore and these hardcore guys do. A casual person doesn't care about exclusives. They're playing Minecraft, Fortnite, Call of Duty. That's what they're playing. Or FIFA, or whatever sports game is out right now. That's what they're playing. They tried to raise the price of gold, and we were outraged, and they backed off. Stop bootlicking Sony, and maybe they'll take their fan base seriously. Yeah, at this point, why would Sony stop these crazy price hikes of their first-party titles or even their consoles now? Because their fan base is just saying, you can charge us more. We don't care at this point. They're gonna keep pushing the boundaries, and their fan base is gonna keep letting them do so. Because they never say anything about it. They just constantly defend Sony's decisions, which is just dumb. Sony is price gouging consumers while they're making record profits. Not a single person should be defending this. Yeah, because that's very odd. 2 years after a console releases, it gets raised in price by the main company. They didn't even have the generosity of putting it into like at least a bundle where you bundle some games with it and increase the price point. They are just that bold. You're saying, hey, you ain't getting no games. We're raising the price by $50, like just by 10%. My bad, 10%. Just the boldness, but not even put like bundling games with it to make it like somewhat less of a blow. They're just like already just raising the price. Like that's just crazy right there. Imagine trying to defend the price change. Many people are defending this, which is sad. A lot of these Sony guys are defending this. Like, this isn't the only one either. Just because he's a check mark, he isn't the only one who's defending this. But at least to the other fanboys' credit, at least they're not journalists. They're just random Joe Smo who's making crazy tweets. But this guy's an official journalist, which makes this 10 times worse, to be honest. Literally every Xbox podcast has expressed disappointment that their games got delayed. Yeah, I don't see anybody who's a pro Xbox person who didn't say they're kind of disappointed with the first party games this year. I think everybody's pretty much shared that sentiment about who's a fan of Xbox. But like I said before, Game Pass has been kind of making up for it because it might be a slow year for exclusives. They're still releasing pretty quality games on Game Pass though. So. Then he says, but Sims like you can never show disappointment, and Sony apparently is just sad. Oh, wow. Why are they doing Kermit like that? How did you get that verification, though? Yeah. That's like, they need to reevaluate who they're giving these check marks to at this point. Imagine even comparing these things, or even worse, trying to compare these things to somehow deflect and justify the price hike. Facepalm. Can't wait for $8 games next year. I wouldn't be shocked if Sony keeps raising these prices of these first-party games because their fan base keeps defending it. They are willingly and proudly saying they will pay $7 for video games. So Sony could just keep increasing the price. Like there's no pushback whatsoever, so they could keep doing it. Nice deflection. You always let the console war stuff get in the way. No, don't talk about the latest negative Sony news. He never does, bro. That's the crazy thing. He never talks about Sony in a negative light. It's always deflection to Xbox. It's crazy. Remember, Xbox has no games, right, guys? Jesus. A shill? Simple. Exclusives are exceptions. If you treat your life options as an exception, you lose. Yeah, is this all on Game Pass? Yeah, Game Pass has been amazing this year. Just look at all these games that's been on Game Pass this year. This is not even everything. Like, this is crazy. Guardians of the Galaxy, Mass Effect, the trilogy on there, Trek to Yomi, which is a cool indie game, Death's Door, MLB The Show, which is a big one, the Hitman trilogy. Just, I mean, this is why people have been that angry, been somewhat angry, but not extremely angry about the fact that there's been a lot of lack of first-party titles because Game Pass has been holding us over pretty much. Quality 40 FPS virtuous cycle is a premium experience. Okay, I don't know what that was referring to. Imagine if journalists expressed an appropriate level of outrage for a significant and incredible console price hike versus not having. You would think that would be something that this gaming journalist would talk about, but no, he wants to deflect the Xbox and not talk about worldwide the price is just being increased by 10%. Like, really? Imagine if a journalist wasn't so biased that he didn't try and defend and deflect an unnecessary price hike during a cost of living crisis. While a console might be a luxury, it's now one less than people can afford than before. See, people are getting blocked left and right. Wow, this guy is wild with these blocks. Apparently, he's just blocking everybody who disagrees with this guy, calls him out for his fanboy journalism. Don't break your back bowing to your capitalistic overlords. They're just going in on this guy. Imagine defending a price increase. Now that crazy. Like, who does that? Like, why would you want to defend paying more? Like, I just don't get it. Like, like, do you go into the average whatever grocery store and say, hey, you should charge me more? Don't put stuff on sale. Don't like charge me more for these items. Like, who does that? The gaming community is a strange place where people will legit defend paying more for an item. It's just wild in the gaming community right now. Sorry, man, but you're a joke clown. Look at this shield begging Sony to not void his access. Deflector shields on. Yeah, he definitely got the deflector shields on at this point. Any type of criticism towards Sony, deflect them right away. Might as well say this guy got the Wonder Woman bracelets on. He just got the deflections going on right instantly. Yeah, I guess those record profits being reported by Sony isn't enough. Yeah, they brag about making record profits, but now they gotta charge you more though, because apparently they're not making money anymore. Even though they just said they were making money, but yeah. Who the F is that guy? Imagine if gamers only cared about exclusives. You wouldn't be playing much, especially them 10-hour walking simulators with the same template. More than enough games to play, especially with Game Pass at a value price, and games that are on Game Pass instead of dropping $70. Big cap. Xbox fans have criticized Xbox for the lack of first party games this year. Imagine if a journalist did their job. Hard for some, I see. Maybe your bias towards Sony shouldn't affect the way you see this. Sony raising prices for a console that they already have, probably announced to be profitable. It can be taken as a jab at consumers. PlayStation makes incredible games, but that's not an excuse for this greed. Yeah. A shill. Imagine being okay with delay instead of getting a broken game. Yeah, that point too is a major crucial point too, because Starfield and Redfall need to be delayed because they don't want to release those games broken. Now, if they would release those games the time they tended to be, they've been broken. People would have been complaining anyway. So it's like you can't win, you can't lose either way. It was regarding that situation, that delay situation. Like there's gonna be a lose situation either way they went. So it's like might as well just delay it. So at least you know next year those games will be very well polished. And Redfall, both those games look pretty good so far from what the last showings they did of those games. So I'm fine with the delay, to be honest. Where was that energy and holiday of 2021? Yeah, that definitely was a drop period for Sony's first party stuff. Like there was literally nothing out during that time period. But how long is this? So I'm included right here. This video is way too long, but yeah, this journalist is just completely ridiculous. Like this guy's a complete fanboy. Like I said before, this guy has a verified check mark, and he's he pretty credible journalist, but he's a big Sony fanboy, which is just wild. So definitely want to see your thoughts down below. Leave a like this video. And as always, thanks for watching, and peace.